Samuel is also here. No. Okay. So budgeting process is what we were doing last. Rolling budget we did, production budget, material budget, employee fringe, all of this. Fine. So variable cost and contribution, break even we discussed. Pro forma operating income we discussed. Now projecting cash collection. I think this is where we had stopped last time. Okay.
Okay.
So we can start from here now. See again projecting cash collections. How are you going to do that? So they have given us an example over here. See, note the assumption that 5% of sales will prove to be uncollectible. So they are expecting that 5% of the sales will become bad debts. And see the collection. This is the collection schedule. Fine. 30%, 50%, and then 15%. Fine. So that is altogether it. How much? 80, 95%, and 5% is bad debt. Now what they're saying is projected February sales. So if the sales in February is going to be 180, okay, this money will be received in this format. So February, now for March you are going to collect nothing, and then in April this is the money you are going to receive. Okay, February say, and then April, May, June. Fine. From here, from second prior month sales, from second prior month sales, this is 100. I mean, it 30% of 180 is 54. Okay. So this is the money that you will be receiving then from prior month sales and from the current month sales. 1 second, let me
I
refine this
have
because
question.
1 second, let me just clarify this one and then I'll take your
Yeah.
question. Your question is regarding this one that we are talking about right now or something else?
Yes, same one.
Same one, right? Okay, 1 second then. Let me make it a little bit more easier for you guys. Okay, in this particular question, what I understand, like this is what they want to say. They are trying to say in this question that 15% of the sales, all right, will be received in the same month. Fine. Then 50% of sales in the like following months, 1 month after sale. Fine. And then 30% of sales you will receive 2 months after sale. Fine. So here what you can see is 95%, 5% is bad debt. You have the separation of the entire 100%. So this is your entire 100%. Fine. Now see, in the month of, let's, yeah, so in the month of April, let's say how much money you are going to receive. Fine. So looking at this, I will try to make this. Fine. See, collection in April. Fine. So if I look at all of this, my answer should be 15% of April, okay, plus 50% of, see, 1 month after sale. So 50% of March, okay, and then plus 30% of what is before this, February. Any problems, any doubt with this?
No.
Okay, and this is what exactly they have done. Fine. See, I'll write the numbers from the book and then I'll show you there also, because again if I change the tab I don't think you will be able to see the other side. Fine. 15% of April. So the April sale given in the question was 400,000. So here it is given 400,000 plus March and February. So 220, 180. Yes. So here it is given 220 and here it is given 180. Fine. So these are the numbers that we have got. 30% of this, 50% of this, and 15% of this. So see, 15% of this will be what? 60,000 plus 50% of 220 will be 110
Yes.
plus 30% of this will be 54. Fine. Now do the total 170 and how much? 224. 224. Fine. Now, see, if I go here, we'll be getting 224.
Yes.
This part. Fine. So this is again, I don't think this is anything new for us. We have already discussed this kind of calculation. Correct? Okay. Now, Bandhu, you are asking something.
Yeah, about 5%.
Okay. So
There's
now,
two ways.
now it is okay. Tell me two ways. It is already mentioned here also. See, 5% sales will be uncollectible.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they solve this question with two different way. One with this way, and
Okay.
one they deduct 5% from the total sales first, and they calculate this 50, 35, 30, 15%
That
from
is wrong
95%.
method. That is wrong method, Bandhu. That is wrong method. You know why? See, wait. For any number, right? Like, since you are asking that way, let me do this here. Okay. Let me show you this one. The thing that you are asking, is
Will not
mathematically.
give yeah, boss, will not give the same answer. I'm not talking about what you call this. Okay.
No,
Sometimes they mentioned
I'm saying, Bandhu, mathematically, what you are asking is wrong. Okay. How? Let me prove that to you. Okay. Fine.
mm,
See, if this is the question, like if this is the rule, right? If this one is the rule, fine. Then what is happening? 15, 50, 30, and here we have got 5% bad debt. In this scenario, see, currently what I have discussed is this in the month of April, what money you will receive, right?
mm,
Currently, this is what I have discussed. Now I want to discuss what about April's sale, okay? April's sale. This money will be received in which year? Fine. April sale was 400, if you remember. It's given here also. So 400. So as per this, fine, this money will be received in April, May and June. Correct?
mm,
This money will be received in this format. Now 15% of April's money will be received here. That means 60,000 will be received here. Okay. Then in May 50%, so that is 200,000. Okay. And then in June it was 30%. Correct. So 30% of this is 120. Correct. Now if you do a total of all of this, see how much do you get? If you do a total of how much do you get? 380. Correct. Now see, 380 is what you have received, and as it was already mentioned that 5% of this is bad debts. Correct. So 5% of
mm.
this is what? 20,000. That matches here completely. Correct. This is the method that we were doing. Now I will do it in your way. The method that you were like saying that maybe that is also one calculation. Are we fine with this one first? Because this is exactly what we have discussed till date. Till today we have discussed only this method. This is the only method we have discussed. Now, if I do the same
Hello.
distribution, yeah, hello.
Yeah, you were hanging. I didn't hear
Okay,
what you said.
all right. Okay, now is it fine?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now see, once we are done with this, now I will do the same calculation in the other format. Fine, the format which maybe Bandhu is expecting us to do. So fine, if I do it that way, now the problem will be, see, April sale is 400,000. April sale is 400,000. If I deduct 5% from here, that will be 20,000. So if I deduct that, okay, sorry, here 20,000. If I deduct that, I am left with 380. Okay. Now this 380 is supposed to be collected in 3 installments.
Yes.
If I receive 15%, 50% and 30% of 380, the total will not match up to 380. Right?
Yes, yes.
15% of 380 is how much? 38 and 19. 30, sorry, what I'm saying, 15%, right? Yeah, so 38,000 and 19,000 is how much? How much we'll get here?
So this is
15%.
Yeah,
if we are going
15%
to
of
follow this,
380.
then we have to see. If we are going to follow this format, we can pro rata the percentage, like change the percentages, right?
Then what is the, like, see, what you are doing, Osama, is a simple question. You are complicating it and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
solving it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Fine.
I'm just saying, like, obviously
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
not
I get
completely
your
correct.
point. I get your point. Fine. We can do that, like, because then what you'll have to do is you will have to distribute this in the ratio of 3 is to 10 is to 6.
Yes,
Then you will be able to get the same answer, same results.
yes,
But then
yes.
why we are doing all this when we can directly do the math? Anyways,
Yeah.
this will be like clear in 2 minutes. Fine. Can you guys give me the numbers here?
57.
This is 57. Okay, then 50%
190.
of 380 is 190. Okay, and then 30% of 338 into 3. How much?
114.
124.
114.
Acha,
114.
114. Now, obviously, when we will add all of these, fine, we will add all of this. This will not be equal to 380 only. Why? Because see, you are taking 15%, 50%, 30% of 380. What about the 5% of 380? That is missing. Bandhu,
Yeah, I'm here.
this is not equal to 380.
Yeah, this is coming 361.
361. All right. And the number which is missing will be 5%. Can you give me the difference? 19,000, right?
Yes.
That 19,000 is basically 5% of 380. So in the entire distribution, we had lost 19,000. Now that is unexplainable magic. Because with this, we have collected 361, fine. And as per our discussion, 20 was bad debts. So fine, adding 20, I'm getting a calculation of 381 only, right? Where is the 19? This is the missing figure. I need total 400. Do you understand, Bandhu?
I understand.
Actually, there was a mathematical glitch, mathematical problem with this method. Fine. So better I'll write it here wrong. So don't try this. Fine. This is the missing figure. Are we fine with this?
Yes.
Fine. So now This part is gone. Let's go back there and see what do they have for us. Okay, so fine. This was a cash collection schedule. I hope we are fine with this now.
Yes.
Fine. Now then the cash budget preparation. So it is outside of the financial activities. Again, please do the reading, credit and purchasing policies. Same thing. Now they are talking about the material cash disbursement schedule. Same stuff. See, 40%, 60%. So if this is your payment pattern, then how are you going to make the payments? And then I think finally here they have made the cash budget. See, here they have made the cash budget. So I think surplus and deficiency. See, till here we should be okay with what they have done because this is exactly what we have also done. Okay. And there is one more magical thing. See, desired ending cash balance. Okay. I think this surplus or cash available over there. Fine. This is the line which we should be okay with till here. Till here, this is what? This is our net cash, if you remember.
Yes.
Okay. Net cash plus the beginning cash balance. See, cash balance is here. Beginning cash balance is already here, right?
Okay.
So this line is what? This line is net cash plus opening stock. Fine. Now the rest of the things what they have done here is something, again it will take 2 minutes for me to discuss with you guys, so pay attention. Now at times what happens, they do give you, because see we are doing what, we are making cash budget, right? Like predicting the cash balances. Now if you remember the question that we did, like I think we have it here, right?
I just want to ask one question.
Okay.
So for cash budget is same as cash flow statement or is slightly different?
Different.
Okay, it's different. Huh?
Cash flow statement is when you compare two balance sheets and you
Yes.
try to calculate operating activity, investing activity, financing activity.
Yes.
Cash budget is completely different. Fine.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
So here only cash items will come. Huh?
yeah,
Not
this is basically a cash book, if you understand.
Okay. Okay.
This is
Now I
a
get it.
cash book, but on a projected basis. That's it.
Okay.
Fine. Now see, this
But
was
it's
the
okay.
question that we did in the class, right?
Yes.
Now, let me go little bit up here in the question. So they gave us this whole story and then the final line, see here, the managing director is pleased. I'm reading from this point. Okay. Now in this, what they have given us is that the manager is very happy with all these things and he already has a bank overdraft balance of 50. So till 50,000 he can withdraw. Okay. Now you make the cash budget and give us your comments. That was this particular question. Fine. Now listen to this. What more can be given to you in this? They can give you that this company already has a credit facility of 200,000. Okay. Listen to this carefully. The company already has a credit facility of 200,000 and the minimum cash balance which they want to keep with themselves is 20,000. They don't want the cash balance to drop below 20. Fine. Are you guys following?
Yes.
Okay. And like, you know, this kind of dead yes will not work. I need little bit of energy. All right.
Yes. I'm following.
Yeah. So listen to this because this is little bit complicated. Fine. So see, two things. What they'll do is they'll tell you that this is the cash, this is the closing balance which the company wants. They can do two things. Either they will give you one number that the cash balance should be 20. Simple. Fine. So if you have closing balance more than 20, then you can invest at 10% interest. Okay. Or if it is below, then you can borrow at 12% interest.
Okay.
Does that make sense? This interest is payable monthly.
Okay. Okay.
Payable. So pay attention to this. If I am taking $10,000 from you, okay, 10,000, at 10%, at 10%, fine. So the 10% is little bit weird. The numbers will be complicated. Let's say 12%, fine. So I am taking 10,000 loan at 12%. So 1 year's interest will be 1200 and 1 month interest is 100.
Yes.
Agreed? Now pay attention. If I am not paying this money by the end of the year, sorry, by the end of the month, now your loan will become how much? 10,100.
Yes.
And then 12% on that divided by 12.
Fine. Yes.
So that will be a little bit complicated, right?
Mm.
First thing. Second thing, see, since I'm not paying that $100 to you in the first month itself, it will not come in cash budget. Agree or not?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if I'm not paying the interest, it is an expense, not a payment. And I want to write only payment there.
Okay. Okay.
Same thing
That's-
happens with the investment. So if you are investing somewhere, every month interest will be received. Otherwise, you will have to calculate interest on interest. Correct? And actually, you don't have to calculate anything because that interest on interest and anything that whole thing will not come in the cash budget then, because it's not a cash expense or cash income. Fine. So let me again go back to the thing. What are the possibilities? How many things can be given to you? One way of doing this is they'll give you one number, $20,000. We want 20,000 balance. Fine. If it is more than 20,000, we will invest and we will start getting interest monthly. Okay. And
Okay.
whenever we find that, like, you know, we are suffering or we don't have money, we will sell the investment. Fine. To recover that cash. So every month we will decide that, okay, this month, do I need some cash? If I need cash, I will not directly go to the overdraft. I will see if I can sell the investment and bring that money back. This
Okay.
is
These
getting
conditions
little
will be
bit
given in the question,
complicated.
right?
Exactly. All of this word by word will be given. Instructions will be very loud and clear. You don't have to make up things.
Just the
Problem,
interpretation.
exactly. Problem here is that we don't have those kind of questions and the format which they have given is of that kind of a question. Otherwise, I would have left you guys with this question only that we had discussed, and I would have left you with this only. And actually in the exam they will ask you question, mostly like 95% of the question is about that cash payment and cash receipt. Fine. But since
With complications of interest or without complications of interest?
without complication of interest.
Oh,
Fine. I'm again repeating this once more. See, now one way is they'll give you one number. Another way is they'll give you a range. Okay. Like, you know, minimum 10,000, maximum 40. So if it goes above 40, you will invest. If it is below 10, you will withdraw. You will like take some money from the overdraft balances.
okay. Okay.
Fine. And now you will have to do the calculation for that entire interest thing also. Okay. Now that format will look something like this. Fine, because see, first part is done and then at the end they'll show you all of the maths. Okay. 1 second. Yeah. Now see, so this line that we had, surplus of cash available over disbursement, this is basically net cash plus opening stock. Fine. So like if I would have been left like this, then 46,344 would have been my closing balance.
Okay. Okay.
Correct. That will move up there and that's how it will go. But then there is a desired ending balance. So we want 100 more. So out of this 146 we already have. So 53 I will have to take loan, borrowing. Is that okay? And
That's
then
next month payment.
next month we are paying interest. So if they would have given us a question here, you could have seen everything in the question. How does it look? Fine. And see, however, what is happening in the next year, pay attention. We have got 184. We want only 100. So we have got extra 84. Fine. So with this extra 84, the loan can be repaid, right? With the interest,
Yes, yes.
correct? So now we are left with this balance. This goes there, and again in this month also we are making some money. We are having extra. See, 267 we have got. Now that means in this question they have given you what? They have given you the minimum balance. 100 is the minimum we want. So if we can have more, no problem. The example that I was giving you, if there is more than this limit, we can deposit also, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
see, here we have got what? Borrowing and repayment. Fine. In my example, I will have few more lines. Interest paid, interest received, and investment.
Okay.
Correct?
Okay. Investment will be cash out, huh?
Will be cash out, obviously. Okay. Anyways, I don't think like, this, like in the questions we'll get this kind of complicated issue. They had to show you the cash budget. That's why they have like, given you this picture. Fine.
What
Okay.
can be the possible question out of this like scenario?
In
Will ask.
this, what they can do is they will give you this balance directly, 46.
Okay.
Fine. They will tell you 100 is what we want.
Okay.
Okay. And they'll tell you either how much of borrowing you will have to do, or in the next month we will have enough money, right? So we can deposit this in May. We can deposit the whole thing in May. So what is the interest we are going to pay?
Okay. Okay.
Do you understand
What
that kind of stuff?
Okay.
You guys can do one thing, do one calculation for me. 224 into 12, 224 into 12
Yes.
divided
2688.
by 53,656 into 100.
5%.
9.
5%.
5. So fine, maybe 5% is the interest rate. Okay.
They could ask what is the interest rate or
What is,
something.
they'll give you 5% and they'll ask you what is the interest amount to be paid in the month of May.
Oh.
Like that.
So any question which is going to come will be like a quick thinking small question, right?
Yeah.
Not be very
Yes.
complicated.
Yes. And my dear friends, remember this. Whatever they will ask, the question, like, the answer for your question will be there in the question itself.
Oh.
Fine. Like, see, we are not doing log or differentiation. These are all mathematical terms. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Calculate the dy by dx of x to the power of 3 plus 3x plus 5. Now, actually, you have to decode what does this whole thing means. Like, for example, say I'll tell you this is a language. 2 plus 2 is equal to, right? So I am not telling you to add 2 with 2 and see how much it becomes. Fine. This is language. I am writing it 2 plus 2 and you already understand what I want from you now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get my point? If I write 2 plus 2 equal to, fine, will you think I'm asking you to multiply?
No.
I'm asking you to divide. No, because you know that language, right? You know that language. So this kind of secret stuff happens in maths where you are supposed to decode the language, and those people who find math difficult, they find it only difficult only because they don't understand the question. They don't understand that language,
Mm-hmm.
right? Log of 8 base 2 is equal to how much? So you actually have no idea what this whole thing is. How will you solve it? Then you have to resolve to the formula.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? So that is the thing. In this there will be written ABCD instructions. So that's why it will be easy and simple for you.
I
And
want to
now,
ask
since
you
once we have done the discussion, if you
Yes.
get something like this, all of this discussion will come back to you that yes, we had discussed something like this. Now tell me.
Yeah, I see you teach F5 and F9 also. Okay, so in general, which one is more difficult? It's F5, F9 or the CMA part 1?
Okay. There is actually no comparison between F5, F9 and CMA. Fine, because F5, F9 is a written stuff.
Yes.
All right. So that is why it is little bit difficult, and that difficulty depends on like student. Some students are happy with writing, they are good with explaining everything, so they want that kind of stuff. What happens is, even if you don't know, you will write something and maybe you will get 2-3 marks. Okay, so for them that format is better. For a student who is quick with his thinking and like ABCD 4 options, so I don't have to show any maths, I'll just do my rough work, get the answer, and I'm done. Right? So for me CMA is easy. Okay, but like by the way, CMA is not easy, because when you go for the exam, all right, on that one day you have to keep chapter number 1 and chapter number 16 all in your head.
Yes.
That is the trickiest part, that is the difficult part. Okay, and then you are like you are constantly like running against time, so you don't have that much of time to sit down and evaluate the whole thing. Like the solution, the answer for all of that is practice. The more you practice, the more you are used to that format, all right, the more helpful it will be for you.
And the
Now,
question is
yeah,
almost same, which is coming in GLAM, right? The ones that we are practicing.
almost same. You can now Bandhu can talk about this better, like the
Okay.
level, the kind of questions that you get in GLAM and the kind of questions that you get in the CMA exam. Because
The answer is
I didn't focus when I was giving the exam also. I didn't focus when I was reading GLAM, because I haven't done anything from GLAM. So I can't answer on that. But like, when I teach, when I see, I feel it is something same. So now, Bandhu, what was your observation?
the same, but the English is totally different. You will find little difficulty to understand the question, but everything will be the same like client questions. The answer itself will be the same, but the what you call this, how they present the question, how they ask for the answer, it's little different, of course. It's not the
See,
same, not exactly.
I will tell you, again, I don't want you to take my word for it as the last like thing, but personally what I feel is that in GLAM, or for that matter any other practice manual, if you try, you will find here they will give you too many complicated stuff also, but in the exam, all right, I don't think like you will get that much of complicated questions. I think like it was simple for me. It was what I could have and what I understood from the exam was that it is mostly about the time. Fine, they cannot do this, they cannot give you difficult questions and less time both at the same time. Then nobody will pass. If nobody will pass, then nobody will again come back for this course.
Yeah. Yes.
Simple, right? So anyways, now let's come to this sales forecast 10.9. This was the point which we already had discussed, that this is new, right?
Yes.
Or for the
Yeah.
first time now we are trying to learn this. So again, before getting into this chapter and this book, let's do 2 minutes of discussion outside this, then we'll come. Okay,
Okay.
now this here, the word that we have here, forecast, that is the main key. Okay, now let me go here, let me again take this little bit down. So now we are talking about forecast. See, this is a little bit kind of complicated stuff, forecasting. Okay, because here what are you going to say, that in the next year what is going to happen, and next to next year what is going to happen. Okay, now here for this purpose statistics is used. Statistics is used, and the baseline of statistics is that the history will repeat itself. That is the mindset. Fine. what is the point in finding out that this particular cricketer has scored on an average 50 marks in the last 50 runs in the last like 100 matches he has played? What does that mean? He will make 50, or like he cannot make anything less than or more than that, just to
Oh,
feel
of
good,
course you can.
just to feel good about it, right? On the expectation that the history repeats itself, fine, we this number makes us feel little bit better, or if we are on the opposition team, it makes us feel little bit intimidated by it, fine. So that is the whole story of statistics, fine. Now what we do is, or there are different models which helps us, statistical models which helps us in predicting the future. There are many, okay, just to name a few. And the easiest one is, there is something called time series analysis. Time series analysis, fine. Now in time series analysis, we basically have got four methods. I will now see in the book what they have given, and I'll teach you only that one. Don't panic. All right. But what I'm saying is that in time series analysis, we try to do something very weird. Okay. Like for example, okay, let me, yeah. So for example, see, uh, what is the relation between cost, okay, and quantity? What depends on what? Cost depends on
Quantity.
quantity, or quantity depends on cost?
Cost depends on
Cost and quantity.
So cost depend on quantity means this is independent, fine, and this is dependent,
yes.
correct? If you want more quantity, your cost will be high. If you want low quantity, your cost will be low, fine. Okay. Similarly, sales and profit. So what depends on what?
Sell,
Profit depends on
Sales
depend
is
on sell.
independent, right?
Yes.
And profit is dependent here. So if sales goes up, profit will go up and down and all that story, correct? Now
yes.
Yes.
these things make sense, fine. So like I can say, if I make a diagram like this, all right, independent thing is always mentioned on the x-axis, okay, and the dependent is here. This is y-axis,
Yes.
right? Now if I make a line and if I see something like this, I can conclude that, see, if the independent variable is high, right, see, then the dependent will also be high. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
But in time series, we try to do something more magical. In time series, what we say is, forget about quantity, okay? Cost depends on time. Like cost has got nothing to do with the calendar, right? In 2010, the cost was 10,000. In 2011, the cost is 11,000. In 2012, the cost is 12,000. So in 2013, the cost will be how much?
13,000.
13,000. See, you gave me the answer, correct? But if you think about it, it's little bit weird. Does
Yes.
cost depends on calendar? Answer is no, right? So here, what we do is we do a forcefully jabardasti analysis, right? So what are we trying to do is we are trying to find that how does variables, okay, depend with time, and this is called like trend analysis also. This whole thing comes under trend analysis, fine. So in this now we will make a line like this, and here you will have time, and we'll try to see that how is this line going, and accordingly we will see that okay, till here it is fine, so now most probably it will go here, fine. So this is how we will predict the future. So basically these are the tools. Similarly, you have got something called correlation, you have got regression, right? These are soft tools. You have probability, the whole chapter on that, normal distribution, Poisson distribution, where all you are trying to do is you are taking historical data last, like previous year's data, and trying to do something to come up with a prediction that in future this will happen. Okay, this whole thing that we were talking about comes under the heading forecasting. Okay, and it sounds again little bit non-scientific and idiotic, because again in future anything can happen. There are many other models also which I haven't mentioned, like simulation, expected values. There are many things that can happen. Okay,
Okay.
so these are few. Now I'll get into the book and I will see what they have mentioned, and now those are the things I will be discussing here. Fine. So let's draw a
But we
line.
discussed the expected value, so
Yeah, we discussed in some other chapter, it was there.
yes, expected value. We discussed after line learning curve
Yes.
Yes,
and the
and that was
correlation
budgeting,
and
remember?
yeah,
That was in budgeting, and budgeting again is what? Forecasting only, right?
forecasting. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to this one now. Let's see what are the methods they have given us here. So here the first thing that we are getting is, see, year. Do you see that? Here we have got year and sales. So basically this is the time series analysis, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
The
The
sales
time
forecast
down, yeah,
starts
it
by
makes sense.
looking back at the historical trend. Then effective way of doing this is use regression analysis. Fine, to forecast. So they have taken year, they have taken sales, and with this they will try to calculate a relation between the time and the sale, so that they can do some prediction on that. And here if you see, this bold line is the actual number. Like, you know, when you plot the actual numbers, you will get something like this. Then they have done an average. This is straight line that you see, okay,
This is
is an average, because again if I take you here, see, let's make a line like this and this, and see if this is the line. Now can you tell me from here where this line will go, up or down?
Probably
it is
up.
it is little bit difficult, right? Because see, it can go there also, it can go here also. How do you know, like from here where it will go, from this point where it will go? It's little bit weird. But if I do this, if I smoothen out this line, all right, so I see a upward trend, right? So on an average, can I, like, you know, conclude that okay, whatever we were having here, over a little bit long period, maybe 1 year or 2 year, it will grow only. If it goes down, then also it will come back up. Does that make sense? Because the actual numbers, you will not find actual numbers like this, like straight. The actual numbers when you will plot, it will be like this. If you have seen the stock market, okay, if you take out the index value for one year, you will find these kind of lines. Fine, but if you take it out for the last 10 years, then it will be something like something smooth like this, because the small movements here are invisible, because now this is 10 years. When it was only 1 year, then you could have seen all of that ups and downs and that stuff. Correct? This is basically average, and we are talking about prediction. Nobody is going to hold you responsible if your prediction doesn't work, because see, we are in one such scenario here, 2020. Nobody could have projected that now this will go like this. Correct?
Yes.
So this is what it is. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, now this one, let me see if they have given the formulas and numbers. Okay, now using this information, a preliminary forecast for year 6 can be developed using either regression analysis or sales per year. Now see, the average annual growth rate in sales can be determined. So average annual growth rate, fine. What they are doing is, ending value minus beginning value divided by the beginning value. So we are basically getting the percentage change for every year and then adding all of that, dividing by 4. So 9% is on an average growth. Fine. Now this is the most, like, what do you say?
Basic.
Not even basic. This is prehistoric. In Stone Age, when people used to rub stone and create fire, then maybe they may have used something like this. Today we use CAGR, not AAGR, compounded annual growth rate.
Okay.
Fine. And that is like easier than this, but I don't understand why. Maybe if they would have mentioned, we'll do that. Are we fine with this one? Because this is very simple stuff. Okay. AAGR, are we fine with this one?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yes.
Ending minus beginning divided by the beginning. So you will get the growth rate. If you are having any difficulty in understanding this, see, ending minus beginning will give you the gap, the difference. And then when you divide it by this, you will get the answer. Now, can you guys take out your calculator? I want to show you one more math. See, this is the ending value, right? This is the ending, this is the beginning, correct?
Yes.
Fine. Do one thing. Write 1318 divide by 1146 minus 1.
Minus 1.
Okay, one by one. 1318 divide by 1146 minus 1. What do you get?
The same
0.15?
answer. Same answer.
0.15 something, right?
Yeah, but after minus 1, it will be 15.
Yeah, 15% only, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So again, that is another way of calculating the growth rate, right? Because on the calculator, fine, the calculator, like actually in our CA classes, we used to do the calculation like this, the one that I was telling you. Because you know, on that accountant calculator, the one that I was telling you is easy to calculate. You don't have to write the whole thing minus this equal to, then the answer divide by this. 2 times, like you will be typing more if you follow this format. Correct? If you follow this, you will be typing more things. Anyways, choice is yours. I hope you understand what this is. Based on other factor, company may choose to revise its initial AGR up or down. So basically now, depending, see this 9% is what we have calculated, right? An average of the last, like let's say 4 years. Okay, fine with that?
Yes.
Now, what they can do is, now standing today, they will look into some other factors. This is the normal growth that we are having. This year, we are expecting the market to expand. This year, we are expecting more business, or we are expecting less business. So on the basis of that, this percentage should reduce to only 7%. Now, it is about your, like, you know, extra addition which you want to do in this. You can add 2%, you can decrease 1% depending on the real market. Now your experience. Okay, do you understand that?
Yes.
That is what they are writing, because once you have got this, you can revise this number as per your prediction of the future. Are we fine with that? Then you can,
Yeah.
like, you can get something like 7.8 and not 9 or something like that. Now, managers will also forecast sales many years into the future in order to plan more effectively. For example, the company forecasts sales increasing as follows. So they, like, again, see these numbers 7.8, 7.8. So they are seeing that, okay, in the next 3 years we can grow by 7.8, but after that it will decrease. It will only become 7. Now these are all emotional stuff. Do you understand? There is no maths. Now there is
Yeah.
no maths behind it. You got one number 9%, which was real because that has happened in the past. Now with that 9, you are doing all of this depending on your, like, you know, expertise. And this is where that budgetary slack comes in. If you remember, top down budgeting and all that stuff. Okay. If top level managers are budgeting, maybe they will add 2 more percent in 9 and they will say that, you know, now it should be 11%. Now our growth should be 11%. And wait 1 second, let me show you. There can be reasons for this also, because see, they can say that this year there was some problem, like for example now we have in 2020 issue, right?
Yes.
They can say that this was a strange year. Fine, let's forget this year. That was an abnormal year. Something weird happened in that year. Some, like epidemic or some issue, some war with another country and all that. So if I just ignore this, what am I left with? 15, 12, 16. Let's do an average. So like if I'm saying that my growth in the next year, see last year it was 16. It was 12, it went up to 16. So my growth rate is also growing, right? Why shouldn't I expect that in the next year it will be 20%? Forget about 9.
Yeah.
You get my point? So again, see, the math ends here. After this, it's all emotion. Okay? And obviously they'll explain all of this to you in the question itself. So you are like, as a student, you are not supposed to make all these predictions. Are we fine with this? Okay. 1 second.
They close the case. That's what this part what they add.
What, Bandhu?
This
You are
is
saying
the sales
something?
for this is sales forecast what they add new. This is the new part. This 2
This
pages.
one, yeah. This one is a new.
No,
Like,
because later percentage of sales method we
okay.
are in the same or it's
No,
just
this is the second page here. This is what we were discussing. This was the like first 2 pages were here from 10.9.
yeah.
One is sales forecast. We are done with this. Now point number 2 is percentage of sales method. So this is another method, percentage of sales,
Sales
right? So in this method, what are you doing? See, here after sales are forecasted, future financial statement must be forecasted. So once you are done with the sales, now how will you calculate the rest of the things, like what is going to be the cost of capital, what is going to be the salary and all that. So for that we have a very simple stuff. See, take the actual year 5, okay, and I think there is a name for it. I mean, I don't know you guys have heard of it or not. It is called common size balance sheet, common size PL and common size, basically common size statement, comparative size statement, common size statement. Fine. Anyway, you haven't heard of it, no problem. See, what we do here is, first you you just have a look at this part. Fine. See, this is your actual year 5. Fine. And for year 5, you got all the actual numbers. This is your actual profit. Fine.
okay.
Now listen to this carefully. Now what we have to do is, we just have to take this number 4,000, okay, as the base and calculate everything on the basis of that as a percentage. So 3,200 as a percentage of 4,000, that will be 80%. So basically, see, can I
Again, do it again.
copy this? 1 second, I'm thinking of something else. Wait, 1 second. 1 second. Let me see if I can do it this way. Okay, I don't think they'll allow. Yeah, no snapshot allowed. Okay, okay, no problem. I think copy paste is also not allowed, not allowed. This is problem. Anyways, let's go there. Okay. Fine. Now see, this one is basically like this. They have given us income statement. Fine. So let this be the income statement. sales, and these are actual numbers, all right? Remember, these are actual numbers. 4,000 cost of goods sold, 3,200, then you get 800 as gross profit. Then what they have given, selling and admin 300. So selling and admin 300. Now you are left with 500. That is operating profit, right? Operating other revenue 200. So this is our operating profit. Then we have other revenue 200. So now we'll get 700. Now this is how it continues, right? Now what we have to do is we have to make this whole thing on percentage basis. So we'll make this 100. All right, that is our base.
Yeah.
Everything as a percentage of 100 calculate. So 32 as a percentage of this is 80%.
Yes.
800 as a percentage of this obviously will be 20. I can see it from here also. Fine. Now 300 out of 400 is how much? Calculate. I think it will be 7.5%. Am I right?
300.
7.5.
7.5, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this will be 12.5, I think. Right? Yeah. Yes. 12.5. Now 200 out of this will be what? 5%. Yes. So this will become what? 17.5%. Again, you are doing 700 by 4,000 by this. So now what is this? See, you are getting all the numbers in percentages, right? This was
Yeah.
actual. Remember, this was actual.
Yes.
Now the projected. So all you have to do is just project the sales.
Okay.
And the rest of the things are all sorted out. Fine. So in this book only, let me see. Year 6, they are projecting a 11% growth. Fine. 11% growth. So if you are going for 11% growth, basically all you need to do is just multiply this. You will get 4440. Done.
Yes.
And once you are done with this, now just start doing this. 80% of this, then whatever is left, that will be 20%. Then selling and administration expense will be how much? 7.5% of this. So you got this number also, right?
Boss,
Now you can make the whole thing. Yeah.
now 1 second.
Yeah.
Our common size, as I understand, or as you teach me before,
Yeah.
is used to comparable, used as what you call this, compare my income statement and my performance for this year with
Yeah.
last year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But not for forecasting. Okay, and
That
if this
doesn't,
will use,
that doesn't mean you can use it for, you cannot use it for forecasting.
if I will use this way for
Yeah.
forecasting,
Yeah.
why we studied all of production budget, with sales budget, with this direct material, with
Yeah.
direct labor,
Yeah.
overhead.
Yeah.
If I can easy do it like that from the same idea of
All right. Can I say,
predicting.
can I
Yeah.
say something? Now here what is
Yes.
happening, see, first of all, try to understand there is not only one way of doing one thing.
Of course.
First thing. Fine. Now here what is happening, once if you do this, you will get the projected PL directly, right?
Okay.
Where is your
But
production budget? Pay attention first. See, what I'm saying is what is happening. You are getting this on a year basis. Fine. Where is your monthly plan? You don't have it. First thing. Second, see, there are many types of businesses and there are many sizes of businesses. Fine. If you are planning to start a bakala shop, what do you think? You don't need accounts?
of course I need.
You need, right? But then at what
Yes.
level do you need to break your head for IFRS and all that compliance?
No.
No. So that is why, see, everywhere we cannot, what do you say, afford that much of work. Fine. So what we do is, this is again one of the ways of getting the projection done. I'm not saying that this is the best way, and I haven't even talked about like this is applicable for what kind of business.
Mm.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm not blaming you now. I'm just trying
I
to
know, I
understand.
understand. It's
When
not about
the same
blame.
book, yeah, the same book line in
Yeah,
part two was talking about common size
I'll tell
vertical
you. See,
and
that is here. That
horizontal.
is here. That is what I was writing. It is called FSA, Financial Statement Analysis. All right.
Hmm.
So, like generally what we do is we use this common size and comparative size to compare either the income statement of the same company for two periods. In
Yes,
2010, in 2011, you do the same analysis and then you can see what happened. Or for
exactly.
the same period with two different companies. Okay.
Yes,
So
this is
that
what you
is,
told me.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That is what again I'm telling you. But that doesn't mean that you cannot use it for any other purpose. Okay. I hope we are clear with this one now. Okay. In every
Okay.
case, we cannot go for like the whole sales budget, production, and all that. So this is an easy way of reaching your goal, where you can just do this maths and like get done. And I'll tell you one more thing. Fine, and listen to this carefully. See,
Uh-huh.
if you are doing projection for sales, sorry, for shares, share price. Okay,
Hmm.
like this is important, see, when I am trying to do the budgeting, right? So budgeting is basically for internal use and it is for the managers and responsibility accounting and all that, correct?
Yes.
Now let's say I am a share analyst, equity share analyst,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to see that what is this company going to do in the next few years, so that I will take the call decision, I will buy the share or I will not buy the share. All right, fine.
Uh-huh. So I will
Two
not have
minutes,
the
2 minutes. All
visibility.
right, 2 minutes. See, easy maths, right? I'm just like, they don't use this maths, but still, share price today, what the share price should be is equal to D1 next year dividend, right? Divided by
Yeah.
KE, fine, minus G. This is the normal formula.
Yeah.
So D1 is what? Next year dividend.
Dividend. Yeah.
Now see, for calculating this, what do you think? I should make the production budget. I should make the employee fringe benefit budget. I should make all of that. Or don't you think this is helpful for me, this method?
Could be.
Could be, right? And actually I'm saying this because once upon a time I was a financial trainee for a company, Cygnus Business Research, and they gave me a live work. It was about Axis Bank, a bank in India. So like there we use this project, like this method, this is what we use,
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't make sense in that scenario, the scenario that I was asking about, where as a share analyst all you need is like a rough figure with the help of which you can do your maths and come to a conclusion. Fine, like see, I will use that formula which I was talking about, PO and all that, and let's say I got the price as $80. Fine, so $80 should be the price of the share. Now I can take my decision, right? If the current market price is 90, I will not buy the share because it is too costly, its actual value is 80. If the share price is 70, I will buy the share because at 70 I'm getting something which is worth 80. And if the price is 80, I will say hold. So these are the three comments: hold, buy, sorry, here it is buy, and here it is sell. These are the three comments with the which the financial analyst gives to their customers. Do you get my point?
Mm. Yes, yes.
Okay, now coming back to this one, I hope like this maths is okay with you guys. This thing, this 80% of this
Yeah.
will give you this value, then
Yeah.
7.5% of the same figure will give you this value, like that. Now you can make this one. Fine. Okay,
Okay.
now let's again get back
Yeah.
into the book and see. Okay, fine. So now here expenses increase by 11%. So there will be some increase decrease given. They are adjusting things with that. Okay, here I think they have done this for every element. Okay, see. cost of goods sold is expected to remain at 80%. So some adjustments are also there. Fine. They have mentioned about some of the expenses. If sales, selling and administrative are expected to increase by 11%. So sale will increase by 11, selling and admin will increase also by 11. Fine. This will remain at 80%. The other things will remain constant. So see, this other revenue 200 is still 200. This 100 is still 100. Fine. So that way also you can
Right.
do the forecasting. Pro forma
Okay.
statement. So this is the one that we that you have already done, or like you will get the numbers from the all the budgeting that you have done.
Previous
See,
actual.
yeah,
Okay.
this is not actual, this is pro forma, right? Pro forma is not actual.
Uh-huh.
Okay, pro forma is the
No, I'm
projected
talking
one.
about first paragraph. Sorry, I'm
This
talking about
all
first
the
paragraph.
numbers are
All right.
coming, all these numbers are this is coming from the sales budget. Okay,
Mm.
fine. This 484 is coming from the cost of goods sold budget.
Mm.
Do you get my point?
Yes.
So they have got all these numbers from there. Fine. And finally, everything calculated. See, income tax, they haven't calculated. Okay. Income tax, they haven't calculated. Do you remember this 224 interest expense?
Yes. Yes.
It was there in the cash budget. Okay.
Yes.
So all the numbers they have taken here, and then they are saying that if 5 million is the number of shares, what is the EPS? So this divided by 5 million, you will get this.
So what is like you said, this sales forecast is a new thing added. So yes, this part is there or there is
No,
something
this
more?
is, I think this is more because I was expecting that they may have given you all those things like, the probability distribution of doing the projection.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
But I think what they have added is only this AAGR, this one, which is like
Oh.
Yes.
hilarious. Fine.
Mm.
Like again, this is too outdated, but anyways, they felt like discussing all of this. So what can we do? Pro forma income statement, change in gross margin. So revenue and cost assumption can be changed and their effects on this can be observed. So now once you have done with all this, see the company has projected gross margin to be 69%. Fine. So now they want 69. So how numbers will change and what will be the final output, that can also be calculated. Sales is not changing, but see, look at this. Your cost of goods sold was 484, right? Now it is 391. Fine.
Oh.
How do you get that? By like, because see, this is pro forma, right? Pro forma means what? Estimated number. Fine. So what will happen if I decrease this by 200,000 or decrease this by 10%, or if I increase this by 10%? So then you can check what will be the impact of those things on this, right? It is like Excel. If you change one number here, the impact will go all the way up and down and you will get a different number here.
Mm.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Pro forma balance sheet, pro forma statement of cash flow. Okay, I think that was it. Pro forma balance sheet is again the estimated projected balance sheet. Pro forma cash flow. Now see, I think twice in two of the classes it had happened that you guys have asked me about cash budget and cash flow. All right. So let's take
Yeah.
2 minutes. Let's take 2 minutes and talk about this. See, first of all, cash budget is nothing but projected cash flow, estimated cash account, cash book.
Okay.
Fine. It is estimated format of making cash book. That's it. Cash flow statement is something else. It has a format. It is under IAS 7. All right. And it has a certain format in which we have to do this. Okay. It starts with operating cash flow and this and that. Obviously, all of that is not mentioned here. You are not supposed to memorize the format. Generally, as a student of accounts, you have to memorize that. Like in F7, you will have to memorize the whole format. Like F7 ACCA. Okay. The accounts part, if you do that there, then you will have to memorize the whole thing because they'll give you two balance sheets. Now you draw. What you have to understand is, see, they will give you one balance sheet which is actual. Like for example, 2020, 2019, 31st December 2019. So today you can get the original balance sheet, correct? And
Yes.
then they'll give you an estimated balance sheet at the end of 2020. You cannot get actual 2020 right now. Today is what? 27th May. You cannot get today, you cannot get a balance sheet as on 31st December 2020. Is that clear?
Yes.
Fine. So you got one actual balance sheet and you got an estimated balance sheet, and then you do exactly the same thing that you do for making cash flows.
Thus, when I ask you about cash budget and cash flow, okay, because usually financial, basic financial statement are balance sheet, income statement, statement of cash flow,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
But when we talk about budgeting, they mention that budgeted financial statement is you prepare income statement, balance sheet, and cash budget. They replace one of the basic, okay, statement, which is statement of cash flow with cash budget. That's why I just asked, is it mean this is replace of this one of cash statement of cash flow?
Okay. It's
That,
not.
and you told me no, it is not. This
Yeah.
is separate,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
in
Can
the
I
book,
show you this one? See here. I think I remember. See, somewhere here only they have mentioned about the master budget, right? And after that they had discussed about what it includes. One second only. Master budget. Yeah. See, this was the master budget, fine. And these are the operating budgets. So in operating budget, they have given us a whole, like, thing here. Too many things.
yeah,
This budget, that budget and all that. And then at the end, we have got pro forma. Now they're talking about financial budget, right?
yeah.
So see, in the financial budget, point number 4 is what? Cash budget. This is what we have done. And
Yeah.
point number 6 is statement of cash flow. So I don't understand now what you are talking about.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah.
And I get it from Glayam, not from someone else.
Okay.
When,
Okay.
And I get here. Confusion. أيوة budgeting tool then يا أخي والله I'm getting confused in this book والله.
All right.
Discussion here.
Like, he was saying that he had read somewhere that, they have not mentioned cash flow and they had mentioned cash budget only. Fine.
No.
So he asked me, I remember the question, he asked me that, are these the same thing? Because he was right. He's saying financial statement means income, income statement, balance sheet, and statement of cash flow. Fine. So like, why cash flow is not there and cash budget is there. So maybe he thought that this is the replacement. They like both are the thing, both are the same thing. So I answered, no, it's not same.
Yeah, even I asked this question that
Right?
cash.
So these are not the same
But
thing.
there
That is
is
what I discussed.
Osama, there is a statement in this book saying like master budget, income statement, balance sheet, and cash budget.
Okay.
They mentioned these three. Did you read this in this book or no?
No,
I am the only one I read it. طيب ماشي.
All right, homework. This is homework. All right.
All right, I will get it, and
Okay.
I will
No
get it
problem.
later. I take screenshots for you.
No
No,
problem.
even this is the case, then it could be a mistake. But because cash budget and cash flow cannot even match, right?
Exactly. No, like, maybe even if this is the case, then maybe what they have done is they have written some word for cash, which is not specifically cash budget, which is not specifically cash flow. All right. So something related to that where it covers both the things. Fine. But now again, whatever it is, we'll be able to deal with that once we get the statement. All right. Let me finish this one now. Yeah. So I hope you guys are okay with pro forma statement of cash flow.
Yeah.
Okay. And there are two ways of making cash flow. One is the direct presentation and another one is the indirect presentation. Fine. Presentation can be any ways which whatever suits you, you can do the presentation, but the final answer will remain same. Okay. Are we fine with that?
Yes.
Okay. And I mean, I think that is enough. We don't need to talk more about the cash flow statement because cash flow statement must be dealt with in some of the chapters like above this. In chapter number 1, 2, 3, 4, you will get
Yes.
statement of cash flow. So I don't think we need to like be too serious right now here. Okay.
Yeah.
And then at the end, see financial projections and ratio analysis. Fine. So again, see what you can do is you have got the like how do you do the ratio analysis? You take the numbers from PL, from balance sheet, and some numbers from all right. Bandhu, you switch off your mic and keep on searching. I can still hear you like shuffling pages. So what I'm saying is like ratio analysis. How do we do ratio analysis? We take numbers from PL, we take numbers from balance sheet, and few numbers we take from cash flow also. All right. Like, cash collection per share, sales per share, cash collected per share. There are few ratios which we take from cash flow also, cash flow statement. But now see, we have got projected PL, we have got projected balance sheet, and we have got projected cash flow. Correct? So the same formulas, like can't we calculate gross profit margin from the projected income statement? Gross profit by sales. So expected gross profit divided by expected sales into 100. Correct?
Yes.
So we can calculate those numbers also and see today, like, we can see that next year, where is my expected current ratio going to be? How much debt I am expected to be in by the end of next year, so that I will if it is good, I will let it be the way it is. If it is not good, I will try to do something in this year which will avoid me from having that position. Are we fine with that? Okay, very good. Is this okay? Like the discussion, whatever we had till now, is it okay?
Yes. Fine.
Because after all of this, now this whole discussion has taken a very weird turn. Okay, Noel is also back. Good. Are we fine till here? Now, see what they have done is they have given you a pro forma financial statement. So the full thing is given here. One example. All right. They have given you one example of this full thing and then continued on the next page. Yeah. Like depending on those things, they have made a statement of cash receipt and disbursement, how much money you are going to receive, pay, and accordingly, see, this is the financial position, balance sheet prepared. Then here we have the statement of income pro forma. for year 2 prepared. Non-current assets calculated. So this is basically like, a full calculation of this whole thing. I think you guys can like, go through this, see if there is anything that you don't understand. Okay. At the end here, see, they have given us for year 2 using indirect method, how to make the cash flow statement. So that is also mentioned. Cash from operating activities, fine. Then you do the whole calculation, you get the ending balance of cash. Okay. And this one we have already discussed this diagram. So I don't want to do the discussion for this. Now, obviously in the exam, you are not expected to get this kind of a question where they'll give you some numbers and ask you to solve the whole thing. Okay. So what I'll do is now I will leave this for you guys to do, and I will get into some questions from this chapter. Fine. Okay, this is a different number. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah.
Fine. I think it is good that you guys like once try this one, because this is for year 1. Okay. Now, yeah, very good. This is a good question. I mean, I will try to make this question look little bit different and little bit better, so that I can use it in my ACCA classes. Like, you do one question and you are done with everything in budgeting. What they have done is they have given you details for year 1. They have given you details for year 1, and they are asking you to prepare the pro forma for year 2. This is what they have done here.
Okay.
Fine. So like, see, this variable overhead, this is about expenses. Fine. And here if you see, this is year 1, financial position for year 1, right? And then this is your, see, statement of income for year 2. So here you are making PL for year 2 using all the numbers which were given from this, from all of this. Okay. Now let's open another file and let's see few questions from here. One second. Okay, this is
Just looking like after I think
25
study unit 11, everything else is all theory, right?
to 85. Yeah, what you are saying?
I'm saying after study unit 11, all other remaining are theory, right? After variance analysis.
Yeah, 11 and 12 are still practical, and after that it's all theory. 13, 14, 15, 16 complete theory.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. One second. Now let me share this. Hello. Hello. Okay. So here we have 9.1 rules of budget and budgeting process. Fine. let me find first, like, some numbers so that I will feel little bit better about this. Okay, it's like I think too big now. Okay, okay. So I think question number 2021, this one. Fine. So here we have got at least some questions where we can do some kind of maths. Okay. So this is the question that we have right now. Okay. So here it says that this company manufactures a toy rabbit with moving parts and all that. What do they want? Daffy Tunes unit production budget. Unit production budget for toy rabbits for January is how much? So for the month of January, how many units they are going to produce, right? So here they have already given us the sale, 30,000 units. Okay, projected sales unit for the next 5 months are as follows. Fine. Each rabbit requires basic material that
3.50.
Daffy purchases from a single supplier 3.5 per rabbit. Voice boxes are purchased another at 1. Fine. Assembly labor cost is this. Variable overhead, fixed manufacturing, production. Okay, Daffy policy is to manufacture. Now see, manufacture 1.5 times the coming month projected sales every other month. Okay, starting with January, that is odd numbered months for February sales, and to manufacture for February, starting with January for February sales, and to manufacture zero point 0.5 times the coming month projected sales in alternate month, that is even numbered months. Okay, this allows this company to allocate limited manufacturing resource. Okay, so this is the question basically. You have to start from here and understand the policy. Fine. So the company policy is to manufacture 1.5 times of the coming month sales every other month, starting with January. So in January, where is my marker? Yeah, here it is. So in January, how many units you will keep for February? Okay, 1.5 or 0.5? Like basically here you will be calculating
0.5.
0.5.
Yes.
Okay,
Because February is a even month, right?
okay. You are doing this like, see, February is an even month, but January is an odd month.
Daffy's policy is to manufacture 1.5 times the coming month's projected sales every year.
Coming month, sales every other month.
Starting with January, every other month.
Do you understand?
No.
See, it says is a policy to manufacture 1.5 times of this every month. See, starting with, where is my marker? Okay.
Starting with January.
Starting with January. So like, starting with January, okay, for February.
Oh, okay.
So starting with January for February. So that means in January you will be making 1.5 times of February. Fine. In February you will be making 0.5 times of March. Okay. Again in March you will be making 1.5 times of February. Okay. Now see here, our calculation is going to be what? Sale is 30,000. So sales plus closing stock minus opening, right? So
But
sales
even
is 30,000.
multiplied with
What?
even if you multiplied it with the 0.5, that answer is still not there in the MCQ.
Let's see. I mean, first let's do the math and let's see.
Hmm.
Okay. So sales is 30,000 for January, and in January I'm planning to make 1.5 times of February. So 1.5 times of February is how much? 36,000 into 1.5. How much?
54,000.
54,000. So
Hmm.
54,000 will be the closing stock. Okay. Then we add these two and subtract the opening. So opening is how much? Opening will be, because see, in the month of December you will be making what, 0.5% then, like
Yeah.
half times,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Fine. So if you do that 0.5, then that means 15,000 was already prepared in December, right?
How?
30,000 is what you need in January. So obviously half of that you will prepare in December
Oh,
itself.
okay.
So
Okay.
15 was already prepared. So now how many units do you want to produce? Dafitune's unit production budget. So how many units you are going to produce? Okay, one more problem is there.
But they're
Okay,
saying
fine.
it's
No, no,
starting
no.
with January.
No. That is not the issue. There is one more issue with this. I'll tell you what. See, the logic that we are applying is for closing stock. And what are they saying? DAFI's policy is to manufacture 1.5 times. They are not saying that 1.5 times of that we will keep as closing stock. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Fine. So now they have not given us any information about closing or opening. We don't have these numbers. They have directly given you information about production.
Hmm.
And the policy is to produce 1.5 of February. So that is 36 into 1.5. I think 54 is what Noel said.
Yeah.
Correct? So
Yeah.
that will be our answer.
Okay.
Fine. Now see how we are getting, what do you say, like on the wrong track, because prejudice, this is called prejudice. We already have a set in our mind that okay, sales plus closing minus opening, and they generally write this kind of information where they mention that what will be the closing stock and opening stock, right?
Yeah.
Whereas here they are not talking about opening closing, they are directly talking about manufacture.
Hmm.
Are we
Let's
fine with
see, maybe
this one?
the next question they have done something.
Like actually see, moral of the story is, if you are little bit also like, you know, like tired, lazy, not focusing, distracted, these things you will miss. Okay,
Hmm.
like they shouldn't do this, because like these things are called tricks. Okay,
Because they gave odd number, later they on even number.
no, Noel, it's not about odd and even. It is about like, you know, tricking the student.
Yeah.
Fine. Like, you know, um, what do they want you to be like? They want you to be good at costing, management, accounting. They want you to know all the concepts, or they want to check you like, you know, if you have to put giraffe into fridge in 3 simple steps, how will you do that? Like, you know, these kind of questions we used to do in school time.
Mhm.
Correct? Like, you know, trick question. Fine, let me ask one trick question, since I think you guys are all like out. So let's see. On a wall, there are 7 bulbs. 7, all right? And if you switch off 3 of them, then how many bulbs are there
4.
remaining?
Oh, 7.
Do you understand what I'm talking about? Like trick question.
Mhm.
That if you will not focus, all right, if you are little bit like, you know, not on the edge, you may miss it. Correct?
Yeah.
That is what this question was about. It looked like something else, but actually it was something else.
Yeah. Just
Fine.
direct.
But we don't, even if that is the case, still they see closing and opening will not be applicable since that information was not available. But
Exactly, it was
even
not
see
available.
more confusing they could have made was give the option for the 0.5 times also, which they didn't give here.
They have given 0.5 times. So what they
No,
haven't
no,
given here?
the answer 18,000 is not there, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
So even if
these questions, see, these questions, if you are not attentive, these questions will kill your time, right? You will just keep on doing some plus minus and you will be like, harassed that why, like, the numbers that I am not getting is not here. Fine. So next question was, okay, here we have this. 1 second. Okay. One second, right. Okay. This is the next question. Okay. This is it. Daffy Tunes dollar production budget for toy rabbits for February is how much? So for February it will be how much? Fine. Production budget, and that also, like, in dollar values they want the answer. Okay. So first of all, in February, how many units we are expecting to make? Fine. Now see, in January you have already made 1.5 times of 36,000. Okay. That is 54,000. So in February you are going to make 0.5 of March, that is what, 16,500 units.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 16,005.
So you are going to make 16,500 units. What is the cost that you will be incurring for this? Because now they want the dollar value of this. See,
So
these are, like, problematic stuff. They could have written like this also. You would have recognized this more than this dollar. Like, they will give you full question and there somewhere they will write 4. It is like 4 kg per something something. Like if they write 4, you will see this, but this you may overlook. Uh, anyways, yeah, we have the information here. Now see, all these things: purchase single supplier, right?
3.5.
3.5 per rabbit, so 3.5. Then voice boxes are purchased for $1 each, so plus 1. Then assembly labor cost is 2 per rabbit. Variable overhead is this 0.5. I'm expecting it's not clear, so let's hope this is 0.5 per rabbit. Fixed manufacturing overhead for the production is 12,000. So all of this into 16,500 plus 12,000 is how much? Can you guys do the math? 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 into 16,500.
Total 127,500.
Total, like after adding 12,
Yes.
127,500, right?
Yeah.
Let's go down and see. 127,500. Fine. So these two questions we got. Let's see if I can get something more from here. Some more numerical questions. Okay. Now again, 1 second. I have to